This is the percentage of obese adults in the United States over time. And as you can see, I took the liberty to fill in the rest of the graph. You might be confused by my interpretation here. That's why I have this banana. This banana represents a healthy society. This is where we were at a few hundred years ago. And this is where we're at now. To a lot of people, this still looks like a great banana. And I would agree. But if this banana represents this part of the graph, what would this look like? Well, to answer that question, let's turn to my sister. Because in the 2nd grade, my sister won an award for discovering what happens to bananas after a few days and a few weeks of ripening. And you know what she told me? They go bad. As you can see, it does not take a genius to see where we are headed. But unlike bananas, we actually have a choice. And if you think this does not apply to you, think again, because if you live in America, you will become fat by the time you're 50 years old. And the reason behind this is because our society is set up in such a way to where it's basically guaranteed that you will fall into the trap and you will start to gain weight and you will become really unhealthy if you do not build great principles for yourself. And that's why there's some people who will not become overweight because they have great principles of a healthy person. And the way that you develop these principles, I'm going to share with you in this video. But first, before we go over that, we have to talk about this concept called instant gratification. So basically, there's two terms that you have to understand: instant gratification and delayed gratification. Instant gratification it can be anything from eating junk food, playing video games, going on TikTok. And it can also be choosing comfort instead of doing something difficult now that will help you in the future. For example, let's say you have to go on a run. Like you need to go on a run. You got to start getting in shape. But you're laying on the couch watching TV and it's really comfortable. An instant gratification would be if you chose to stay on that couch and not get up and go for a run. Now, delayed gratification is different. Delayed gratification is when you choose to eat healthy food now, even though it may not taste good currently, but you know that if you just train yourself to enjoy healthy food, it will taste good in the future. And it will also help you in the future because you won't get that instant hit of dopamine from junk food now, but you also won't get that punishment from junk food in the future. And delayed gratification, as used in an example earlier, could also be when you're laying on that couch watching TV. Delayed gratification would be getting up, even though you were comfortable, getting up and putting your running shoes on and going for a run. That's delayed gratification. It's basically sacrificing now for the future. And how this applies to what we're doing now is that it's so easy to be comfortable. It's so easy to just indulge in junk food and social media and stuff like that in our society because it's just set up that way. That's why 50% of Americans are going to be obese in the next 10 years. And so that's why you have to understand this principle of instant gratification versus delayed gratification. And you can't just understand it, you have to actually embody it as your lifestyle. And that's the next point. Lifestyle. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they think healthy living is just a quick fix. Like, let's say they put on 10 pounds and they don't really like what they see in the mirror. And they're like, oh, let me just get on a diet real quick. Let me do this until I lose weight. That's where you fail. You will always fail. Okay, and maybe you won't fail now. You're just going to regain the weight and you're just going to have to get back on that diet and then go again. That's the mistake. You can't do that. If you really want to be successful with your health and having a nice body and being healthy, you have to embody it as a lifestyle. You can't just say that, you can't just interpret it as a quick fix. You can't just be like, oh, is this healthy? Like, oh, can I eat this? Will this help me lose weight? No, you have to be a healthy person. That has to be your identity. And the way you do that is you have to look into the future and you have to see yourself actually being healthy. You can't just see yourself eating junk food. You have to literally despise junk food. It has to be so against your identity that you can't even tolerate yourself eating it. That's what you have to do. You're probably resisting what I'm saying right now. You're probably thinking, oh, no. I can eat junk food. I'm going to eat junk food, everything in moderation. But that's the thing. That's just your addiction speaking. Did you know that human beings didn't eat junk food ever? In the millions of years that we were evolving, in the hundreds of thousands of years that we existed, we never ate junk food until a couple thousand years ago. So you don't need junk food, it's just the addiction. So what do you want? Do you want to just poison yourself a little bit and get a little bit good taste buds? And that's the thing, people like junk food because it tastes good, but fruit and healthy food taste so much better once you actually train yourself to enjoy it. Because I remember I would always buy this little Debbie. It was like this banana pie, and they never sold it anywhere. My mom had to go to Menards or some like hardware store to buy it. But that was my favorite, and I would always get that for my birthday. And I just remember over time, over the years, I would just eat it once a year, and I would just eat it, and I loved it in the beginning, but then over time, it just didn't really taste as good, and I was just eating it just because. And the thing is that I ate these things even after I didn't like them. And I just remember being so scared and nervous to tell my mom not to buy them anymore because it was a part of my identity. That's the addiction. I was too scared to say no. I was too embarrassed to not eat fruit instead. But now when I eat fruit, it tastes so good. I actually just love eating fruit. And the funny thing about it is that if I were to eat that little Debbie banana pie right now, it would just taste awful. Because now my taste buds know the difference between something that is real and something that is fake. Something that I'm supposed to eat like fruit and something that I'm not supposed to eat. Something that isn't even food, like a little Debbie. And so health is really simple. All you have to do is embody it as your lifestyle. Don't see it as a quick fix. Embody it as your identity. And it's really simple to lose weight and to maintain a nice, healthy body. All you have to do is exercise and eat healthy. That's it.